Course content is being stolen more than ever because course creators are not implementing the right steps to prevent this, costing them thousands of dollars and even their businesses. My clients have used my step-by-step process I've spent years developing to successfully slow and stop the copycats and save them thousands of dollars and loss of reputation in the process. And most importantly, they aren't doing with this one thing that I share later. If you want results, you need to stop the copycats from stealing your hard-earned work. You need to make sure you implement everything I'm about to share with you in this video, because skipping just one thing could be the reason this doesn't happen for you. So in this video, I'm going to cover why people are copying your stuff, how to stop it, and what not to do. First, we need to understand why people are copying. As course creators or content creators, we focus on the marketing and sales, trying to bring in as many students as possible. One of the most effective techniques for this is using the attractive character method. Students see you as the attractive character, the leader. Leaders have a similar backstory to their students, which makes them relatable, and so they also understand the pitfalls and challenges that their audience will face along the way. But the leader has already achieved the result that the audience wants to achieve. They provide the guidance, empathy, and clarity needed to help their followers do the same. Gary Vee uses this to help entrepreneurs achieve the success they crave. But what does this mean? Well, our students follow us from point A, which is where they are now, and where we were at one time, to point B, which is where we've become successful in the subject we are teaching them. However, many students don't stop at point B. They follow us to point C, which is teaching. It's natural for them to want to climb the ladder all the way up to the point offering their own course, even though they may not be qualified, which is key. Most don't know they aren't qualified. It's what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. They fail to recognize the genuine skill and expertise of other people, overestimate their skill levels, and fail to recognize their own mistakes and lack of skill. The students think that because they achieve point B, they can now go to point C, expert level. They don't know what they don't know. Many don't know they are doing anything wrong. If only I had known is a line I hear all the time from copycats, which leads into what to do to stop the piracy. But first, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want more legal strategies to help you grow your business and avoid costly lawsuits and legal mistakes like I share in this video. I upload videos weekly about these strategies. So how do you stop this? Well, first, education. Let your audience know about the consequence of stealing and copying content and encourage them to respect your work. I know what you're thinking. How can they not know? Well, I actually had a course creator who was a lawyer teaching other lawyers how to run a successful virtual firm. He had an issue with lawyers taking the materials. We implemented a legal education piece to the course, and it solved his problem. So even lawyers don't know what can and cannot be done. Most course creators are teaching how to run some type of business, which needs legal. I have a guest lawyer training or a module. I've done this several times for my clients. This can also be done through regular blog posts and social media. Step 2, register the copyright. Copyrighting your content can give you legal protection and make it easier to take action against anyone who steals it. You can register all the videos, images, written works, and other content. Registration with the Copyright Office is not necessary, but not doing so would be short-sighted. Here are the benefits. First, in order to sue, you need a registration. Second, registering may give you a certain amount of money damages like $150,000 and attorney fees and costs. Third, you can hand your registration to any online platform or social media platform, showing them that the copycat is using your material and the platform will take them down. The third step is use a copyright notice. A copyright notice is a statement placed on your work to inform the public that you as the owner are claiming ownership of it. You see this a lot on the bottom of websites. Using a copyright notice has the following benefits. First, notice makes potential users aware that copyright is claimed. Second, a notice may prevent a copycat in a lawsuit from claiming they were innocent and even carry jail time for ignoring the notice. Step 4, register your trademark. Among its many other benefits, registering the trademark lets others know that you have taken the steps to protect your intellectual property. They know you are serious. Placing the registered logo and or brand name on all course content and inside course content will prevent others from using the content as is. Step 5, update your terms of service. When most of my clients start out, they use boilerplate terms of services and agreements for their courses. As time goes on, the terms remain the same and are never updated. There are 2 important things to consider: what should be included and how will be delivered. First, include the terms that clearly define how your course materials can and cannot be used. Be specific. What can it be used for and cannot be used for? What are the penalties for using it the wrong way? Give examples. What are the other consequences? Make this section bold, capitalized, and even a different color. Use non-competes and non-disclosures. Having this in your terms of service also provides another lawsuit other than copyright infringement. In case of a copycat, now they breached the contract. There's another lawsuit. Second, try to make sure your students see the terms. This is tough, but use a checkbox or a scrolling acceptance with a checkbox, or even have the students physically or electronically sign the agreements. You may think this is a barrier to sales, but in my experience, it has not affected sales and weeds out some of the bad actors who aren't serious in the beginning. Step 6, use unique content and language. By offering unique content that can't be found anywhere else, you make it much harder for copycats to steal your course. This could be a unique teaching style, approach, nomenclature, or even the way you package your content. Look at it this way. If you removed your uniqueness from the materials, would they make sense? If it doesn't make sense, your job is done. Constantly update your content. Regularly update your course materials to keep them relevant and valuable to your students. This can help to prevent them from seeking out similar courses that may have stolen your content. This will also create holes in the thief's content and teaching, making it harder for them to keep up. Keep innovating, invest in R&D, build proprietary stuff that cannot easily copy it. Follow industry news, stay alert and updated about the happenings in your industry. A clear vision on what you want the company to become. Keep executing on that path. Vision is bigger than a feature, copycats won't be able to catch up. Step 7. Use technology safeguards. There are a ton of different tech tools you can use, including digital watermarks of your logo, brand name, copyright notices, etc. on your content. Even spell out the penalties for your copycats and your watermarks. Use digital rights management tools to control access to your course content. Use unique file names for your course materials to make it more difficult for others to find and steal your content. Use encryption software to protect the course materials from unauthorized access. Use secure hosting to make sure your course materials are hosted on a secure platform that uses encryption and any other security measures to prevent unauthorized access. Use a content delivery network which stores copies of your content in multiple locations around the world. This can make it more difficult for someone to steal your content. Password protect your content to ensure that only those who have paid for access can view them. You can also use different passwords for different levels of access. Your main course and materials and another for any bonus materials. Use two-factor authentication, which adds an extra layer of security to your online accounts by requiring second method of authentication. Disable right-click on your host site to prevent students from being able to right-click and save the images and use the images in their course materials. Step 8. Use persuasion in psychology. It's funny. Think of all the marketing and sales tools you use to bring in students. This is the same concept. Instead of convincing them to join your course, you're now convincing them to take certain steps while a student. Use the same techniques. Reciprocity, likability, social proof, authority, scarcity, urgency, commitment, and consistency, and also unity. These are the key principles of persuasion. Here's an example to illustrate this. I have a client that runs a very successful course and community teaching others how to run successful e-commerce businesses. This group has been operating for many, many years with a ton of students and very little copycats. Why? Because she uses every one of the principles of persuasion, whether knowingly or not, throughout the community. One example is she has each student sign a manifesto, including language that each promises to be respectful, ethical, etc. She then posts each signed manifesto in her Facebook group. People not only live up to what they write down, but are more inclined to follow through with it if others believe it to be true too. Step 9. Sign exclusive agreements with key partners. Whether there are certain tools you use, mentors, or other contractors, sign exclusive agreements preventing competition as much as possible. Step 10. Consistently monitor your content. Keep an eye on whether your content is being used online. Set up Google Alert or use a service like Copyscape. Search for instances of your content being used without permission. Consider using an anti-piracy service that can monitor the internet for instances of your course materials being shared or distributed without your permission. These services can also help you take legal action against those who have stolen your content. Second, ask other students to let you know if they see other people using your material. This is also a good psychology tool, community belonging. If you do find instances of your content being used without permission, take actions to have it removed. Step 11. If all else fails, take legal action. Consider getting legal advice from an attorney who specializes in IP law. They can provide you with specific guidance on how to protect your content and what legal options are available if your content is stolen. This may start with a cease and desist, DMCA, and then a lawsuit. Third, and arguably the most important, what you shouldn't do with a copycat. Don't ignore the bad actions. This never turns out well. It may be hard to face the tension and potential unwarranted bad publicity, but the bad action isn't stopped. It has a trickling effect. One of my clients who taught a photography course had her entire course stolen word for word. One of her students placed many of the lessons on social media. My client tried to ignore it thinking, it would just go away. But what happened was other students saw that the copycat was getting more and more followers and now thought it was okay to do what she was doing. So they decided to do it too. until 8 of the students were now using the content in this way. Soon her other students saw that my client didn't seem to care about the community she built and started to leave the group. Future sales fell off. This is called the broken windows theory, which came from the idea that no matter how rich or poor a neighborhood was, one broken window would soon lead to many other windows being broken. One unrepaired broken window is a signal that no one cares, and breaking more windows costs nothing. Disorder increases levels of fear among citizens, which leads them to withdraw from the community and decrease participation in informal social control. So never ignore these actions from the students. These are the effective steps that prevent the stealing and copying of your content. Don't let others profit from your hard work. Take action today to protect your business's content and brand. And speaking of brands, here's a video on how to protect your brand names.